Hi everyone, so my name is Joanna and I decided that I'm going to do a little video on a condition that I suffer from called Chronic Tic Disorder. I'm not going to be too scientific because I'm not a scientist and there's not really that much to talk about what it actually is because it's still a lot of unknown about it. But what I do know is chronic motor tic disorder is a condition that involves brief involuntary spasm-like movements or vocal outbursts. So my involuntary movements are only facial. I don't have anything to do with my body, anything to do with my hands, legs, anything like that. It's purely just facial tics. So the most common one is I roll my eyes a little bit, and I also have I tend to twitch with my nose and I open my mouth a little bit. A lot of people quite often say I've got Tourette's. I actually don't, because in order for you to have Tourette's you need to have a motor tic and a phonic tic, which is a vocal tic, and I don't have any vocal tics, so therefore that doesn't make me have Tourette's, it makes me have chronic tic disorder because I only have a motor tic. Okay, so I just thought I'd go through a few questions that I tend to get asked quite a lot. My first most common asked question is, have I had it all my life? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, I have had it all my life. I think I remember having it when I was 4. In order for you to actually be diagnosed with it, you need to be having tics for over a year with no continuous breaks, and they need to be every day. And they carried on every day. So then I was diagnosed with chronic tic disorder. Obviously, back when I was 4 years old, 5, 6, I didn't know how to control it, and I didn't really know what to do to help myself. Now I'm at the stage where I'm 20 years old that I know how to control it, and they don't really happen very often. Yes, things can make it worse and things can make it better. As a whole, I don't really find that they really bother me that much anymore, but I know they are noticeable and people do question me. So a lot of people actually grow out of them before the age of 20. Unfortunately for me, that didn't happen and I still suffer from it. But as I say, they don't affect my life, really. I just get on with it, and to me it's just like a little bit of an addition to me, should I say. Another question I often get is, what treatments is there? So there's a few different types of treatments. So the most common one is behavioural therapy. So that one is CBIT, Comprehensive Behavioural Intervention for Tics. So you go and see a therapist, and all they try to do is they train you to recognise the urge to tics, and they try and teach you to do a replacement. So the one that I used to have was reversal therapy, and that is kind of the most commonly used one. So they just teach you to kind of reverse it, so then it kind of trains your brain to not do it in the end, or do the opposite, which might not be as big of a tic. So when I feel the urge to open my mouth, I just keep it closed. And it kind of trains your brain to do that. Another form of treatment is medication. So I've actually, again, tried to be on medication. I was 10, I think, when I tried the medication, but it did make me unwell. It made me sick, it made me dizzy, like weak. So I had to stop taking it. But I know for some people it works for them. Obviously every person's different, and I just had really bad side effects to that, so I unfortunately had to give up the medication, which kind of in a way I was glad about, because I didn't want to be on medication for it the rest of my life. I'd rather be able to control it myself. There's a few other not medical ways. So there's acupuncture and hypnotherapy. So I've tried the acupuncture, so it's where numerous needles are inserted into your face, body, etc. I mainly had them on my face and a little bit on my head, a couple on my arms. And I'm not going to lie, it is weird and uncomfortable. That worked for me a little bit at first, and then for some reason it kind of stopped working, and I think it's because I didn't enjoy it and I wasn't motivated to do it. And I think if you want to help, or if you want help, you also have to help yourself and be motivated. And because I didn't enjoy it, I think I didn't really put the extra effort in that I needed. So acupuncture wasn't for me. The only thing that is known to work that I haven't tried yet is hypnotherapy, and that is one that I'm definitely going to start looking at trying, kind of probably within the new year now, because it's getting you know, with all these COVID restrictions, it's probably quite difficult. So I'm just going to wait until the new year to try that, and then hopefully that'll be the one for me. However, there is very natural treatments that are not kind of medical or anyone doing anything to you. It's all yourself. And I often find that by keeping active, so for example, going to the gym, just working all the time, riding my horse, or doing really high concentration tasks like driving or doing a puzzle, you know, things like that, when I'm concentrating, I often find that it reduces them considerably. And I think that is one of the main ones I find to help me, is just by keeping myself active, because then I'm therefore diverting that urge to tic into doing something productive. For example, when I'm driving, like if I'm concentrating, then the urge goes away because I'm not thinking about it. So I think that that's the main one for me. I think is my biggest help, is just by keeping active. So another one I get asked is, what makes it worse? So the three main things that make it worse are stress, nerves, and uncomfortable surroundings. So the stress, obviously, it is hard to avoid stressful situations, and you're always going to be in stressful situations. But you learn to deal with this stress better if you've got tics. So you just learn what's best. What I often do if I think I'm getting stressful is I walk away from the situation as soon as I can. Obviously, if I'm dealing with it then and there, I can't, but afterwards I kind of just walk away, give myself a little bit of time to calm down, kind of get my tics back under control, and then go again and carry on with my everyday life, or what I was doing at the time. Yeah, it's all about learning to deal with the stress, and my one is, say, walking away and dealing with it that way. I also mentioned nerves was one that makes it bad. I mean, I don't really get a nervous twitch because I already am twitching a lot already. So they just tend to become more regular when I'm nervous. There's less gap between them. But it's one of those that once the adrenaline hits in, I'm absolutely fine and off I go. And they're back under control. Another thing that can make it worse is being in a new environment with new people. So if there's no one there that I really know, or anybody that knows me and knows what tics is, it can be a little bit uncomfortable for me. And I think this is kind of related a little bit in a way to anxiety. They are kind of closely linked. I think it's what it is. It runs through my head that I'm like, are people going to notice it? Are people going to say something? Are people going to laugh at me? Are people going to be afraid of me? Like, that does go through your head when you go into a new surrounding. Like, what if people think that you can't do your job just because you've got a tic? Because I can. Like, it doesn't change anything that I do, but you can't help thinking that sometimes. Once you've settled into that new environment and you've kind of got to know the people a little bit more, they suddenly calm down again. And I think that's because people realise that it's nothing to be afraid of and that I'm still the person I am. But another question I often get asked is, do I get funny looks? Well, yeah, I do. And that's why I often do find it quite difficult to meet new people and be in new surroundings, is because I don't know what people are going to think, as mentioned before. But the one thing that I hate with people that don't know what tics is when they go, are you okay? When I twitch, and they go, and I say, yeah, I'm fine, and they go, are you sure? I'm like, just because I've had a tic doesn't make me not okay. And I often find that by somebody mentioning it and asking if I'm okay, it makes me feel a little bit down, because it makes me think that, oh, maybe I'm not okay, or maybe I'm not normal and there's something wrong with me. And it can make it worse because you've got that thought in your head of thinking, well, I've done something wrong, someone's asking me if I'm okay, like, do I not look okay? But the whole idea of this video is to raise awareness, and I really like people to happily ask me if I have tics, or ask other people if they have tics, if they see them doing something that, like a twitch that they don't see people doing normally. I know some people are different and some people don't mind being asked if they're okay. Like, it's nice to know that people are thinking like that, but sometimes it can just hurt you a little bit, because it, as I say, it makes you think that, oh, I've done something wrong, or I don't look okay. Through high school, you know, you do get the horrible people that think it's funny and think it's absolutely marvellous to take the mick out of you and do impressions, but you know what? You learn to block them people out and ignore them, because I had some amazing friends at school, and when I'm around them, I just got used to not caring if people were taking the mick at me or laughing at me, because my friends were so amazing, and as long as they were there for me, and a lot of them would go and stick up for me, you learn to stick up for yourself as well. I mean, once you stuck up for yourself, they don't do it again. So the one thing that I would say is surrounding myself with positive people and my friends who really don't bother by it. And I think if you know that your friends don't bother by it, then, and they're the people you're going to see for the rest of your life, then people, once high school's over, you're probably never going to see them again if you don't want to. So I never used to let it bother me. I'm just like, if they want to do that, they can do that. I don't care. And that's just because I had such amazing support of my friends, and to the point that my friends just get used to it now, to the point they don't even notice it. And that's what is nice, because I feel so comfortable. I very rarely tic when I'm around my friends, and I think it's just more, the more you go out and the more you get used to environments, then the more settled you are and the less they could become. I'm going to end this video now, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me or message me or anything like that. If there's anybody out there watching this video that also suffers from tics disorder, feel free to message me for any advice or message me for any questions for yourself. It'd be absolutely amazing if I could help at least one person with tics to feel more confident about themselves and just go out there and live their lives, because it hasn't stopped me doing anything. Tics doesn't change the person you are, and it doesn't stop you doing what you want to do. If you want to do something you love, do it. Don't let the tics stop you. It never stopped me, and it won't stop you. So I'm just going to end it at that, and I just hope that everybody understands a little bit more about tics. Yeah, goodbye guys.